The next race, we pick up live. We are on the course. We pick it up in progress. Looks like it's going to be a battle in the men's 4V. We have Princeton furthest from the camera in lane 2. Syracuse closer to the camera in lane 3.
Yeah, I mean, look, this Princeton 4V is very, very talented, and they are not going to be happy with that result this morning where they fell to Penn. And so you get a really good look here at George Beckton, the experienced stroke man who is very well respected in this program and does a great job sort of leading from the front here. Him and Walton, who's just made this very, very impressive jump from being an athlete on the lightweight team to an athlete on the heavyweight team. So certainly, probably not one of the biggest frames on this team, but is absolutely using everything he's got. You just see how slick he is with the blade around the front. I really like his body positioning around the back. Lon's doing a great job, him and George, to lead this crew away. But this Syracuse crew is staying very sticky. I've got them, bow to stern here right now, with these guys. So the Cuse is staying driven, and they're doing a really, really nice job to stay connected here.
Yeah, they are. In the morning session, you alluded to it, Joe, but the Princeton 4V, they were second to Penn. Penn beat them by about 3 seconds. Princeton did beat Columbia, so they got second out of the 3 boats in that race. And in the morning session, it was Syracuse. They did win their morning heat against Brown and the Princeton lightweight 3V. So Syracuse coming off a early morning victory, but it looks like Princeton establishes themselves as the faster boat here as they have the upper hand midway through this thing.
The big man, Nate Feidman, in the 6th seat, can't help but see him powering this thing along. Very, very impressive athlete who adds a lot of power to the boat, puts a real shot in the water, as head coach Greg Hughes would say. So, really like what Nate's doing there. And then he's backed up by the freshman Alan Mitchell, who's just a really cool, calm customer there in the 5 seat, like what he's doing as well. And then we did see Anton Butler this morning in Wawa. We let him be. He was locked in race mode, but big physical fellow there in the 4 seat being powered by one of this area's finest institutions, Wawa, Keenan.
That's exactly right. He was fueling up. I think he had maybe 4 Sizzlies in his bag ready to go. So he was getting the good calories in.
Let's not say that. I don't need Coach Elephant coming and hunting me down here. So, but no, just another one of these great young athletes for the Princeton heavyweight men who is making a real impact here in a top 4 boat. He's got Luke Gutman behind him, and then Josh Siegnow, who's filling in there for Lucas Liao in the 2 seat, and then Big Josh Yin in the bow seat, who continues to click it along, doing a really nice job getting his hands out and over, and then getting to work really quickly here in the front foot. So it is Princeton who, as we've talked about, has continued to extend this lead up over Syracuse. They have now got probably about half a boat of open water over the Syracuse 4V. Syracuse 4V, had a nice, pretty established win, I would say, over Bruno this morning. That was about 6 seconds, and I would say the margin is probably trending in that direction for Princeton over Syracuse here.
Yeah, certainly the case here, Joe. We talk about it every single week, but Princeton 4V, Syracuse 4V, these 4Vs look like they could be 1Vs, 2Vs in other programs. Like, just a super deep team from top to bottom, both of these, but particularly Princeton. And that depth creates boat speed from the bottom to the top of a program.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's just where this sport, these rosters are trending, that you have this level of talent up and down your roster. Syracuse, doing everything they can with their talent to pull back into Princeton, but Princeton continuing to push away here in aggressive fashion, impressive fashion. They've now pulled this thing to a full length of open water.
Yeah, looking really poised, really composed here. Basing it maybe around like a 35.5 to 36 is the Princeton 4V.
Yeah, so impressive there. Big George of the Jungle leading his crew from the stroke seat. He is doing a nice job clicking this thing along in a nice lively rhythm here as we approach the red buoys.
Yeah, final 250. Princeton maintains their lead, their advantage here. They established it early. They've maintained it from start to finish. They were not happy losing to Penn in the morning, but I would say they flipped this one pretty quickly, Joe.
Well, they certainly have, right? I mean, this crew, I think, has performed really admirably here. Look, you never want to drop an L, but we've talked so much about how much this is training, this is learning. Can you apply the lessons? The crews that do will get faster throughout the season, and it certainly looked like the Princeton 4V learned from this morning and are taking those lessons out very aggressively here as they cross the line first.
And in the words of Tom Hebink, it's not how you start something, it's how you finish it. And I think Princeton 4V finished the day in a big way over Syracuse, as Syracuse is through the line now. It was Princeton over Syracuse